Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to speak to you tonight on the occasion of Civil Air Patrol's 75th anniversary. Like the people and the aircraft represented here in the Udvar-Hazy Center, CAP made its reputation in the skies. We were created on December the 1st, 1941, just 6 days before Pearl Harbor. Within 3 months, our first major mission was underway, flying coastal patrols to guard against German U-boat attacks on domestic oil tankers. Eventually, we operated 21 coastal patrol bases in 13 states, extending from Maine to the Mexican border until August 1943. The Coastal Patrol and our other wide-ranging missions during World War II earned CAP the Congressional Gold Medal. We received the award in December 2014 in a ceremony in the U.S. Capitol's Emancipation Hall. And later that evening, we celebrated the event with a dinner some of you attended. Our guests of honor that evening were many of our World War II members and their families. And tonight, we're grateful for the opportunity to honor 2 more of them. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Julius Becton, Jr. and Mrs. Barbara Sulzer O'Malley. Round of applause for them, please. And when we recognize them, we're saluting not only their volunteer service during World War II, but also the legacy of service before self that the Gold Medal honors, a legacy that has continued throughout Civil Air Patrol's 75-year history. During that time, the technology and the missions we conduct have changed, but our commitment to communities, our states, and our nation has not changed. Congress outlined our 3 core missions in May 1948 when it passed a law chartering Civil Air Patrol as the official auxiliary of the United States Air Force. Those missions are emergency services, cadet programs, and aerospace education, and they remain a vital part of who we are and what we do today. Throughout our history, our members, all volunteers, have stepped up whenever and wherever they were needed. We've responded to floods and deadly winter storms, tornadoes and hurricanes, wildfires, and man-made disasters. In recent years, after the 2010 Gulf oil spill, we mounted one of our largest missions. Since World War II, one of our largest missions since World War II. 2 years later, after Hurricane Sandy ravaged much of the upper Atlantic coast, members from 21 wings came together to carry out a 40-day mission. Our most recent major mission came less than 2 months ago in response to Hurricane Matthew. We flew over 900 hours collecting more than 60,000 aerial images of the storm's impact in Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina, while also monitoring evacuation routes and assisting the American Red Cross. So, when large-scale disasters like hurricanes strike, our primary mission is to take to the skies as soon as conditions permit and capture high-resolution photos showing the location and extent of the damage so that federal, state, and local emergency management agencies can gauge the impact and decide how to best direct recovery efforts and resources. Throughout most of our history, CAP has been known and valued in large part for its search and rescue missions. But we are now operating in a much changed landscape. Cell phone forensics and radar analysis have revolutionized our search and rescue capabilities. We are also helping ensure America's future by focusing careers on STEM subjects of science, technology, engineering, and math. Those efforts extend not only to our own 24,000 cadets, but also to 20,000 children throughout the country in grades K through 6, whose interest in these subjects is inspired by teachers working with lessons and hand-on projects provided by CAP. All of our aerospace education programs together benefit far more students, 200,000 in all. We are continuing to train our cadets not only to fly, but to be America's leaders of tomorrow. Along the way, we've developed such accomplished Americans as Eric Bowe, who went on from earning CAP's top cadet award, the Spots Award, to piloting a pair of space shuttles. Nicole Malachowski, the first female pilot in the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds, and Gila Levy, who finished first in her Air Force Academy class of 2008 and went on to become a Rhodes Scholar, our first cadet to do so. And that brings the total number of cadets to over 1 million, and that's an amazing accomplishment for America. Such top achievers are the modern-day equivalent of some of the famous names who have served in CAP. Our ranks during our 75-year history have included prominent figures in entertainment like Bob Cummings and Mary Astor, business leaders like William Lear and Richard Jungling, government leaders like Ohio Governor John Bricker and Senator Tom Harkin of Iowa, as well as aviation pioneers like A. Scott Crossfield and Mary Fike. And who could forget Lieutenant Colonel Gail Halverson, the Candy Bomber, who is with us this evening. Colonel Halverson, thank you. Our cadets and adults have gone on to become highly decorated members of the military, such as Edward Clyde Benfield, who received the Medal of Honor for heroism after being killed during the Korean War while saving the lives of 2 wounded Marines. And Frederick E. Ferguson, another Medal of Honor recipient, recognized for rescuing a downed helicopter crew in Vietnam. Last year, our service, and especially our contributions to our parent organization, the U.S. Air Force, were recognized when Secretary James added CAP to the Air Force Total Force. Joining active duty airmen, the Air National Guard, the Air Force Reserve, and civilian and retired Air Force employees. This year, we were again honored by the Secretary and the Chief of Staff with the prestigious Air Force Organizational Excellence Award. Our first 75 years is a story of service, sacrifice, honor, and heroism. I hope you had time during the cocktail hour to see the excellent historical display created by Colonel Frank Blasich, Captain Colleen McCormick, and our National Historical Team. And if you haven't seen it, it's right over there. And now I'd like to present for your enjoyment a special 75th anniversary video created by a former CAP cadet, Scott Matthews, who is currently a member of Tennessee Wing. Scott is also a Master Sergeant in the Tennessee National Guard and an Emmy Award-winning producer. So please direct your attention to the screens.
Now, you've heard of the Civil Air Patrol, of course. The Civil Air Patrol, the CAP, Vigilant Civilian Volunteers.
With the largest fleet of single-engine planes at their disposal, these patriotic patrols are now playing a key role in protecting the homeland.
The point is, World War II could have turned out a lot differently if not for the men and women of the Civil Air Patrol.
60,000 volunteers across the country who man the Civil Air Patrol's missions, and performing 85% of all inland search and rescue operations.
We save lives and we save resources. We are the experienced and we are the future. For 75 years we have volunteered to serve our communities, our states, and our nation as the auxiliary of the United States Air Force. We will continue to do so with honor. We are the Civil Air Patrol.
So to Sergeant Matthews, well done, cadet.